To help your users navigate through your data, you can create hierarchies to help them understand the different levels in your data and how they can move up and down between them. Let's take a look at how you can build those and work with them in Power BI. So I've got some data here, and you can see that I've got a category, segment, manufacturer, and products. So within each category, we'll have multiple segments. Within each segment, there are multiple manufacturers who produce individual products. And to help users navigate through this data, we can create a hierarchy. So over in the field list, you can see I've got in my product table, category, manufacturer, product, and segment. And to start building a hierarchy, I can just drag one of these fields onto the other. So let's take our segment, drag it into product, and then I can take manufacturer and drag that onto the hierarchy and add category as well. And now you'll see I've got all of those different fields. Now to start moving them around, I can either right-click or click the little dot, 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 and move them up and down through that hierarchy. So I'm going to put category at the top, then segment, move that one up, and then finally we want product at the bottom, so let's move product down. So I can see product hierarchy goes category, segment, manufacturer, product. I could also rename the title of this hierarchy. And typical sort of best practice is actually to hide the remaining fields, just so that your users don't get confused between individual fields versus the whole thing. So now anytime I use this category, for example, to build a new chart, let's add a new column chart, I can drag that entire hierarchy onto our axis. Let's look at the units by category. And you can see by default, the chart that I get created shows me the top level of the hierarchy, so our category. And I can drill in and drill up and down through this hierarchy. There's a couple of different ways to do it. One is you'll see up in the ribbon, there's a drill tab. And this gives me options to drill down, drill up, or expand everything. And I can also right-click on one of these and drill down or expand everything. So if I drill down, I will filter this visual to just the category that I've selected. So in this case, I right-clicked on urban. So I'm going to drill down just into that category. And I can see the different totals by segment just for that category. In fact, if I scroll down in the filter pane, you'll see I've already filtered that down just to the urban category. So I can keep going. I could right-click again on regular, and I can drill back up if I want to, or I can drill down into just that regular segment and see the individual manufacturers. And again, you can see I've had another filter been added to show I'm just looking at just the regular segment. So I can also do that drill up, drill down through the ribbon, and drill all the way back up to the top. And I have one other option. So as well as drilling into a specific category, I can choose this expand all option. And what that'll do is it will take me down to the next level. So it'll take me down to the segment level, but it will do it for all of the different categories. So I can see across all of the different categories, I've got a whole bunch of different segments, all season, convenience, extreme, moderation, etc., etc. And again here, there's no different filters that have been applied. I've just changed what I'm looking at in the visual from category to segment. So that's how you can use hierarchies to navigate and drill up and down through a hierarchy and make it easier for your users to understand what's in this data. The final thing that you can do is actually say, okay, well, I'm looking at some total unit sales for our regular segment, 207,000 total units sold. But what about the individual records that make up that number? What are the individual sales transactions or the individual line items in your data set that make up that number? Well, when I right-click, I can also see this See Records option. It's also here in the ribbon. And when I choose that, I'll swap over to a tabular view where I'm looking now at individual segments, individual line items rather, individual line items, individual transactions in your data, and the measure for each of those different line items. So you might see some repeated values in here, for example. So you can see this Natura UR08. We had 2 sales of this thing at 44 units each. And that's part of the thing that's being added up to the complete total. And go back to the report like this and get back to the visualizations. So I can drill up and down through categories, and I can also drill down to the very, very detailed levels, the individual records within that data.